Everybody else that's watching this.
We was gonna have a quiz for all of us after that. Information.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, we're good? We're live? Did you say I'm getting rated and perform, like on my performance? Jeremy, you didn't tell me that.
The same question like your name and email and mobile, what's your biggest takeaway and what's your lead generation strength? So just list them together. There are no wrong answers.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so I've already put it out there. I hate talking in front of everyone, so just kind of bear with me. So we are going to talk about agent-to-agent referrals as well as just your referral sources in general, because there are many, many referral sources out there. You guys just have to dive in deep and see what works for you. So the reason why I broke into agent-to-agent referrals is because, you know, you paying out there for pay-to-play clicks as far as like running ads wasn't working for me. Paying at a boomtown wasn't working for me. I was just wasting a lot of money. And then I realized that when I came to KW that I had 180,000 agents in front of me that I was able to tap into. So it wasn't even just the KW agents. There are agents worldwide. There's hundreds of thousands of agents that you guys are able to network with in some capacity. I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Michigan. So I go home this weekend. I'm going to meet with a couple agents up there. I went to Greece. I met with an agent there. So anywhere that you go, there are agents and anywhere and everywhere that you are at. So there is a huge plethora of knowledge amongst all of these agents, and you are able to tap into their market and also see how you can help them grow their business like they're going to help you grow yours. So that's my how and why of why I do this. I have been licensed since 2013, and I have been up and down as far as like an agent is concerned. So I initially started off at KW. I left, went to a small boutique broker, went and worked full time back in insurance while I figured out this real estate game. So it's always been me figuring it out. I go to the classes, but at the same time, there's just always knowledge that you have to apply to yourself anyways. But at the same time, once I came back to KW, I tapped into the events. So the events are huge for me. And it doesn't just have to be a KW event. Let me see, what do we got here? So I know we got some newbies in here. So I am an Army veteran. So I served from 98 to 06. I have been to war, so there's a lot of that. I have injuries. But I have that as also a network that I tap into. So a lot of those, I use them as, they use me for their PCSs, which is from station to station. When they are getting out of service, what are they going to do as far as a career? So you don't always just think of agent to agent as like referrals and how are you going to fill your pipeline? Well, how are you going to give this opportunity to somebody else? So the Army, we're very, very limited on the income that we can make. So when I was in, we couldn't have a second job. There was no way that I could have done real estate. That's changed a little bit now. So it's my understanding there are real estate agents that are also serving, which is great for them. But why not give them the opportunity to either come into KW into your downline, or give them the unlimited capacity of income and the potential of what they can make. So great if they're going to retire, they have that perfect money coming in monthly, but then they also are able to sell real estate and make unlimited amount. So that's how I tap into the network of the Army, as well as other sources, or not sources, services. I am one of the top 1%. I've had to claw my way up there and climb my way up there. And but I want to stay up there. I like being in the top 1%. In fact, last year when everybody was Zooming on, these masterminds not leaving their house, and like how can we work, I guess is what they were doing, with networking and masterminding. I was out actually working and hitting the grounds and, coming into the office as soon as we were able to, and, wearing my mask and going in the homes and figuring it out. So I'm not one of the first that was doing the virtual videos, but I can't probably, out of my 77 that closed last year, I would say probably about 30 of them never saw a home until it was closing day. And then they walked in and saw the home. So it was, they put a lot of trust in you when you are doing that. About 80% of my business is agent to agent referrals. So I have earned the trust of my referral partners, and I plan to keep it. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. So do I drop the ball? Have I? Yes. Last year was really busy. It got busy really quickly. We went to Paris. Probably was exposed to COVID because I was very, very sick when I got back. Went to family reunion, in Paris was also the KW International Family Reunion. So we went to Lyon in Paris. There was a group of us that went. There was, I think it was 10 of us that we all collaborated and networked together and got to know one another on personal levels. So it's not just about like, hey, can you refer me business? And never touch base with them again. You have to keep that relationship. You have to build that relationship. It is a relationship business, and you all know that. So they are absolutely, we're all like rock solid referral partners. We back each other up in these referral groups. So if you see like these fan clubs, they're not fan clubs. We've all earned that business and we've built that business. So are there pay to play groups out there? Absolutely. Don't become a part of one of those. I also have specialized with athletes, relocation, like I said, with not just the military, but there's also, people moving in and out to go live at the beach. Lucky for them, because they're allowed to work from home now. So why not? And then also I tapped into luxury as well. So luxury here in Kansas City initially starts at 500,000, but for Keller Williams, it's 700,000. So if you want to tap into that luxury market, you have to sell at least 2 in that 700,000 in a year and keep it a rolling 2 ongoing forward.
What does that mean if you want to tap into it?
If you want to start selling luxury homes, you have to have the 2 in sales. So anybody can be a part of luxury now. So what they have done is opened it up to everyone. So you have the knowledge. You can sit there and go out to the into the intranet, into the luxury hub, and learn all you can about luxury. It's when you get into the earned in part is when you have at least 2 sales or 4 sales in the last 2 years. So there is a little bit different training, and we have different masterminds, and you know, those are different. Obviously, we don't have like the beautiful, fabulous homes that are on the East and West Coast or in Houston and stuff like that, but we do have beautiful homes here. And you know, but with luxury, you're treating them just a little bit differently. You're always giving them the white glove experience no matter what, but at the same time, you're trying to sell their high-end homes. You have to fish for those clients, you know, and try to make sure that their stuff is not just sitting there rotting on, you know, MLS. I am a part of Gary's Top 100 this year as well, so that was a huge accomplishment. So again, masterminding in there is, you know, the best of the best within that mastermind throughout the world, because, you know, we are worldwide. I was also licensed in insurance for the last 10 years. Last year, I decided not to renew that license. So I have that knowledge in the back of my hand too. I would highly recommend any of you guys to partner up with an insurance agent and find out what will pass on the insurance side of things versus not pass, because you don't want to find out the hard way that, hey, we're getting a cancellation letter after closing because it all got through closing, but then afterwards the insurance is thinking differently than what any of the underwriters, lenders, or you guys are thinking. So they can also be another source of referrals for you. So again, this is not always just agent to agent referrals. I work off a very high level referral business. Year to date, I have 51 closed, 15 pending. So I've already closed over 17 million with my pending now. Am I 15? 17 pending and over 7.7 million pending right now. My goal this year was only 25 million. I've already surpassed with the closed and pending right now. So you never know what you're going to do. So set those goals. Okay, so back out to the agent to agent. You guys have to set a goal. Like, start small and work your way out. There are mega campus coming up. Not everybody was invited. However, a lot of people are going. There's going to be a lot of masterminds. There's outside of just actually mega camp itself. That's in Austin every single year, minus last year. So we probably will be masked up, but there are going to be events just like if it's carrying on like normal. February, I think that is going to be in Orlando is what we're thinking. We're not 100% positive as it hasn't been announced, but that is Family Reunion. Family Reunion is the floating one. So anybody that's new here, go to these events. There, again, 180,000 agents that you have access to. Will they all be there? No. But will they be networking on social media? Yes. So be able to try to network with them. Find your little circle. Okay. So you guys have likes that are common denominators with other agents. There's going to be things that you guys are able to have the commonality with and be able to build that friendship, because it does become a friendship and they become like family to you. I have some of my best friends that are across the US that are all Keller Williams agents. So you never know what you're going to find. We go to like, I guess it was in March, we went to Napa. There was 10 of us, you know, hung out in Napa. So all of these are write-offs as well. And as you guys are growing your business, you guys are going to need as many write-offs as possible. Otherwise, you're going to be paying Uncle Sam the money. And why not travel and be able to go to places that you guys are loving? Back to the select partners, you have to, it is a win-win for everybody. So if they're going to support you and give you business, you better be watching out for them and supporting them as well. So you guys are always going to see that I'm always on social media. That is my number one lead gen. I don't smile and dial in the morning anymore. I don't smile and dial in the afternoon. I'm horrible about it. It does not bring me joy, but you will see me on social media. And you will see me on there a lot. And that is my lead generating. So everybody has their different lead gens that they do. Should I be calling expired? Should I be calling for FSBOs, door knocking? All of it. Yeah, I should be. But this is what's working for me. I've done all of that. I didn't like it. And this brings me joy. So I stay on social media. I don't sleep in the middle of the night. And you'd be surprised at how many others don't sleep in the middle of the night either. So we all have conversations and it's fun. It's, you know, you see some drama and you're like, oh gosh, why are you guys putting that stuff out there? Don't bring your personal life out there. Keep all that behind the scenes. Don't just bring it out for the public. Again, you can filter out by like location, your interest, your personal values. I mean, there's just start your own groups. I mean, there's things that you guys can do that will be able to bring in your own little circle. And, you know, it is what it is. You have to build that trust though. You're not going to just, yeah, you might be awarded these referrals and stuff like that, but you have to follow through with what you're going to say you're going to do. Don't sugarcoat it because everybody will end up knowing and finding out. Deliver the results and communicate with these referral agents. They want to know that you're helping out their clients and that they are being taken care of like you promised them they would be. Don't forget about them and don't leave somebody hanging and just like, oh yeah, they never got a hold of them, because you're a direct reflection of them. And just think about it. If you're handing over a referral to somebody, you're wanting to stay in touch and informed of what's happening with that referral. And the other thing is don't forget to pay them, because they have to go into your DA in order to be paid out. I've paid out $75,000 already this year in referrals, and I'm glad to pay out that money. So you're spending money somewhere, I'm going to spend it there. And I have more to pay out still. So you have to build that trust. You have to pay them. You have to, people will find out if you don't. So, and it won't be good because people talk, and it's a lot of text messages, a lot of messaging groups. You have to, I always multitask anyways. So if you start out slow and you build it up, that's fine. Don't think that you have to just jump into this and expect instant results. Questions so far? No? Okay, great. You can, like I said, you can start or join referral groups. You can invite to classes and events. You can do your own classes. So if you guys have a subject matter that you're an expert at, do a class on it. Share. We are a sharing company. Everybody knows that. However, you want to, you're going to want to make it where you're kind of benefiting from that too, so that you're able to bring in your referral partners or potential referral partners or whomever. So it's always got to be a win-win. Yes, you can give all your tips and tricks and everything like that out there, but you're also going to be like, okay, what's in it for me? How am I going to benefit from this as well? So me, I'm just donating an hour of time today. So you could do an agent-only newsletter. You guys are probably automatically on some of those emails where you're like, oh, let me unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Read through their stuff, because chances are it's about their market and what's going on in their market. So that's going to bring you knowledge as well. And you'll never know who's going to be your next referral partner out there. Or if you're like me, I'm always maxed out on social media when it comes to people. I have probably 4,000 people. I don't even know who the heck they are on my Facebook. And it's a constant rolling thing, because I'm like, okay, birthdays, I don't know. I've never had a conversation with you. I accepted your friend request, or you accepted mine at some point. Let me go ahead and either reach out or unfriend. And usually if you're EXP, sorry, you're gone. Those are my first ones to go. You want to do your personal care calls just like you are calling your clients. You want to call your referral partners and make sure they're taken care of, because you don't ever just want to see that one and done and expect that you're going to always be their go-to person. It's that next person that's in front of them is probably going to be their go-to person. So always bring something of value. Always mastermind, hold accountability. You know, I had somebody in here yesterday from the Prairie Village office asking me like, hey, will you be my accountability partner? Will you be my mentor? Sure. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. So be careful what you ask for. But, you know, people are looking for that. You guys are looking for that. You guys are, you know, wanting to be held accountable. Like, hey, here's my goals. How do I get there? How do I make those steps into getting there? If you're like me, I'm always challenging myself. So it's always in my head. I know my numbers like the back of my hand, and I always know my goals, and I know how far away from those goals I am. I want to make sure that I am hitting those goals for my own personal, you know, pleasure and pain and everything else I put myself through at times. But at the same time, you guys have it in you as well once you guys start getting the hang of it. So set those goals, start small, and then supersede them. You know, I remember I was super excited when I would hit 2 million in a year. I hit 2.5 million on Monday. So in written volume. So when I hit the 5 million mark, that was in 2017, when I was still working full time. I was insurance 9 to 5, and then real estate after hours and weekends. And I hit 5 million. I was like, whoop, I'm out of insurance. I just tripled my income. I'm out. So when I hit 5 million last month in closed volume, I mean, that was a huge accomplishment. So you guys need to celebrate that stuff too, because if you get your social media active and going, people are going to commend and like be super proud of you, like it, comment, whatever the case may be. The one that I put out there on Monday was about like hitting the 2.5 million in written volume. So I've had 450 odd likes and hearts and all that stuff. And I can't remember how many comments I have on that thing, but that is bringing everybody, you're top of mind now. You're like, oh, how do you do this? Or, you know, whatever. And then you interact with people like, oh, I didn't even realize that you were on here. You just have to remember to thank them. You have to try to engage in conversation, and don't just like and heart and all that stuff. Engage in that conversation. That's how you build those relationships, and that's how you start meeting people that you don't know. And you may or not ever meet them in person, but if you have the opportunity, I certainly would. Handwritten cards are always a plus. There's a lot of agents that have a very big, robust VIP program, meaning that as soon as a referral is sent, something is sent to them. So they are rewarding them for these referrals. And that's how we stay top of mind in making sure that they are, number one, important to us so that we're getting those referrals. There's many times that people are just reaching out to me, hey, I've got a referral for you, without even going to the social media groups. And it works, you know, so it helps because you are top of mind. They know the areas that you serve and cover. If something is, like yesterday, somebody messaged me, don't know how he found me, but Warrensburg. Been there, done that one time, not doing that again. That is 30 miles east, and it's a very long 30 miles east from where I live at. And I know that is not my area. There's a nice Air Force base out there, but I recommended another KW agent that is out of Lee Summit office over there because he grew up there. So Topeka, Lawrence, any of those outlining areas, you guys can build relationships around there with agents that you have, especially if you have people that are moving. Wichita, I mean, so make sure that you get to know. Kearney, way too far for any of us to go up there. There's no reason why any of us should be up there. Leave it to the Northland agents to do that. Same with St. Joe and stuff like that. You guys are just wasting your time and money. Your time is money. So you're wasting everything by trying to take a referral on that far away. Got it? Good. Let me see. Again, we've talked about the agents for the neighboring markets, and they don't have to be Keller Williams. They can be any of the brokerages. You never know who is going to not want to work a referral for whatever reason. And they just may not know the area and they don't want to go to that area, whatever the case. There's people that are licensed in Missouri and not in Kansas and vice versa. So you guys need to make sure that you're connecting. Go to the KCRER events, go to the YPN events, make sure that you are getting to know who your fellow agents are so that you are able to refer back and forth if needed, or just work a contract with them and make sure that it goes nice and smooth. You don't want to be like, oh, I don't know who that agent is. There's probably chances are that you don't know who they are, but why not get to know who they are? They may be struggling at their current brokerage. You might be able to bring them in for your downline. So you have no idea who your opportunities are in front of you. Needing specialization, I don't touch commercial if I don't have to. It's kind of like a gray line. If you get that fifth house, then it becomes a commercial property. But the big things, get with your commercial people. They don't like to touch residential too, because we're pennies versus their dollars that they're making. So they have the ability to refer back and forth as well. Land, same thing. There's people that will go all the way up to like Nebraska border to cover land. So if you're not that land expert, there's a lot that goes into that. Make sure you refer that out, and they're going to thank you for that. I have Willie and Stacy Nelson over in the Lee Summit office that will tag me for some stuff, such as luxury, and vice versa. Like, nope, tag them, send it over to them. So even though that we're competitors, we still have that mutually appreciation for each other and what we cover and what we don't. Make sense? All right. Anything else? I told you I talk fast. What kind of questions you get? By myself. Did 77 last year with no transaction coordinator or admin. This year, January, I added a transaction coordinator, and 2 weeks ago, I added Kira as my admin. Well, this is her second week. So no attention on building a team. That's been there, done that, failed it, didn't like it. And I am now a part of an expansion group. So United Home Group, they are out of Portland, Oregon. Cody Gibson is actually the one that is headed up on that one. So you'll hear like Ben Kinney, Lance Logan, he's one of the big ones too. So recently partnered up with that one when I went to Greece. And United Home Group, Cody Gibson, and he just actually became the director of expansion because Keller Williams is changing their expansion program. So we are going to be very competitive with EXP when it comes in that route. And so hopefully bring back some of our KW agents from EXP. Yes?
You have kids?
I do. I have 2, and I have 2 grandkids. So my kids are grown. My daughter will be 21 in January. She moved out in May, moved in with her boyfriend. Don't ask me why they went so early on that, but whatever. My son actually lives in Michigan. He's 26, and that's where my grandchildren are at. So that's, again, where I'm from. And he wanted to live up by family versus moving around with the Army.
Where Michigan?
Mount Pleasant. So Central Michigan University. And yeah.
MAC conference?
Say that again?
It's a Mid-America conference.
Yeah. Yeah. So going home to see family this weekend. Like I said in the beginning, I am potentially meeting up with 2 KW agents. If it works out, great. If not, my purpose there this weekend is family. And one of my childhood best friends passed away a couple months ago, so I have to go home for that.
So how do you're networking like a mega camp or kind of reunion, how do you choose different agents to partner with? Do you just get to know them during events, or you work on certain connections you have and then introducing you?
So I do
some of these
both.
agents, or how do you scout certain agents and say, hey, I'm going to reach out to them and try to build a relationship with them?
I don't scout pre-hand. If I have actually, if I have
People online
actually,
have asked you guys to grab the microphone if you have a question. They'd like to hear the question. So make sure to grab those if you have questions.
okay. Do you want to re-ask that question?
So what's your process?
They'll hear it online.
They'll hear it.
Okay. When you're at events, as far as connecting with certain agents, how do you connect to actually stay at top of mind? Because I know you can meet someone and then, you know, a few weeks passes, you're back home, they don't remember who you are. Do you scout agents look at, and how do you make those connections?
So I don't scout agents. I scout what events are going on. So there's a lot of masterminds. There's a lot of parties. That's the other thing. Don't go there and drink. Don't make a fool out of yourself. Don't do it. You'll see me a lot with water. I may have one drink in my hand, but it'll sit in my hand for a long time because I really don't drink anymore. So, and that's doesn't matter where you're at. So I do the events. So we have been for the last 2 weeks kind of pre-planning what's going on and what events that we're going to. And that's my little core group. So like I said, I have multiple texting groups and messenger groups and stuff like that going on. All of our purpose there is to meet somebody new, and we help each other with making introductions. So if somebody knows somebody and like, hey, you need to know so-and-so from Kansas City, or you need to know so-and-so from Denver or New York, or whatever the case may be, we help each other with building those introductions. Now, when you get home, you're going to come home with a plethora of cards. You better like try to find a way in your brain to remember who the heck they are and be able to reach back out to them. You don't want to make all of these connections, and it will get overwhelming. I can give you a plethora of cards that I have of like, oh yeah, I forgot about them, or if I got, did I meet them? I don't even remember, you know, so it becomes a whirlwind, and you guys will see each other throughout the events multiple times, because chances are they're going to be listening in or going to the same mastermind sessions as you guys are. And, but also know that when you get in that habit of going to the same masterminds, you're always going to be in that same circle of group. So how do you expand from that group? Well, you find different masterminds to go to. You find different lunches or happy hours or whatever is going on at those events to network with.
So when you're meeting with these agents, do you ask them, say, hey, when you see a referral post for Kansas City, tag me? Or because how do you get the agents to start interacting where when they see that, they're gonna ask you for your name because they're maybe, I don't want to say expecting you to tag them on Facebook.
I just automatically tag. So if I know, like, and trust somebody in that area, I'm not going to necessarily put my neck out for somebody that I don't know. You know, we can all look at each other's business on the internet. We can see who's faking it or who's really doing what they're saying that they're doing. So that's one great thing about KW is that we're able to see those numbers out there. If you guys don't know it yet, tap into your internet because the production is out there. So you need to also just make sure that if you're vouching for somebody, that you've had a conversation with them, that you have gotten to know them, that you're not just tagging somebody just to tag somebody. It might not be reciprocated. Don't get your feelings hurt if it's not. But at the same time, it's going to put you in their forefront like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that person. Or let me go back and have another conversation with them and see how we can build this, you know, together. All my tags are coming from people that I have gotten to know in the last 3.5 years. So I know I get a lot of tags, and I know it's, you guys probably like, well, shoot, I'm not going to get that one. You never know, right? So I can't just assume those tags are always going to be there, though. I still have to build that business and work that business just as much as you guys are going to. Does that answer? Okay.
Talk a little bit about what you do every day on social media. Talk about you do that every day.
So my morning, noon, and night, midnight, it doesn't matter. My Facebook is always pulled up. So I could be sitting in the office. I just kind of glance back and forth of my social media. I don't get into, I'll scroll a lot, but I generally go to my groups. So I love my people here local. And I try to network and connect with them as well, but it's the outlining people that I'm really watching for and seeing if there's an opportunity in their area that I will help tag them on and see if it will bring to their attention. A lot of people will have their alerts on their phones for like Facebook. I don't have that turned on because I'm in there enough where I'm not wanting to glance down on my phone all the time to watch those groups. There's hundreds of groups out there, you guys. I mean, Labco agents, there's real estate mastermind groups. I mean, there's a lot of groups out there that you guys can get into and network with. There's a lot of little fun side groups. Stay out of there and stay out of your drama or their drama, because you guys, I mean, people put their stuff out there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are you guys thinking? Because that's what people remember, right? So if you had something happen and now all of it, everybody's talking about it, well, now you became top of mind for the wrong reason. So just kind of keep yourself private in that aspect. If something happens, talk to somebody local where it's verbal, not in writing, because screenshots get flown around as well. We see it all the time in those groups, and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? It's out there permanently. So my routine is basically when I wake up, my husband will turn on the news. I might listen to it, but I'm on social media. If I'm driving, I'm usually on social media. I've got a really bad habit on that. I get bored in the car, or I will go out to Clubhouse. So Clubhouse is like your interactive podcast. And if you guys haven't tapped into that yet, you guys absolutely need to. Clubhouse is huge, and I wish they would have been around more so last year versus all of these Zooms and stuff like that. So with Clubhouse, it taps into your Instagram and your Twitter accounts. So if you haven't built those up, make sure that you do that. I got a pretty hefty following on Clubhouse as well, but you guys can actually phone interact with these guys. So it's great. You never know where anybody is at until you actually start connecting with them on a more personal level. There's athletes, there's entertainers, there's recording artists. I mean, you name it, they're out there on Clubhouse now. So they've all got something to say, and sometimes you want to hear it, sometimes let me jump to another room. Grant Cardone's out there, with all of his 10X stuff, Gary Vee. I mean, it's a huge thing that you can tap into as well. So I usually try to put that on in the car versus listening to some mindless, music or something.
What can you recommend? For the newbies, can you recommend some of the groups you were talking about?
Just go into Facebook and go into like the group section and search real estate. And then all the groups will pop up that way. That'll be a lot easier than just naming some of the groups. And and then you can figure out what works for you and what doesn't work. There's a lot of great advice out there. There's a lot of agents that are out there just like killing it. So you asked about a team. If you want to build a team, there's a plethora of people out there that are they're experts. I mean, they've built up these huge teams, and don't ask me what they do with their day, because I'm sure they're running their team, and I don't know if they're selling or not selling or whatever the case may be. But they've got it nailed down. Like Brian, Brian Huff upstairs, he's got everything nailed down. It's awesome, And him and I were actually in the Olathe office at the same time, and he just like grew exponentially. And I was like, kudos, I want to be like him, but so I'm growing in a different way. So we cheer each other on and stuff like that. So. But again, go to Facebook, go to Clubhouse, go to Twitter. I mean, there's just a plethora of different ways. LinkedIn can be your best friend. You're going to get a lot of agents out there too, but you're also going to get those professionals out there. So the ones that do have, whether they want to invest or if they want to buy and sell real estate, you can add anyone from anywhere. And you guys need to remember, you can sell real estate anywhere, because you will find them a referral partner in that area. So you're not licensed in there, but you're able to find them a referral partner, and you get paid on the referral versus you paying out on the referral. Any other questions? No? Are we good?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One of the things she mentioned, I would say this in all of these trainings, is the power of handwritten notes. So how about we all commit to writing her a thank you note and put it in her mailbox for mailing it to her. And I'm going to follow up and see how many you got. So
Okay.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Brady's 10.
I will say when Odell's do their next Buffini class, make sure that you guys attend, because that will throw out a plethora of other ideas out there. It's not even just the notes that you're doing. It's going to be the follow-ups and your pop buys and everything like that you guys can use to build your business. You guys need, as newbies, you guys need to make sure that you're tapping into as much that the office provides or other offices provide that you can go and attend to learn how to build your businesses. Versus you guys spending your money and spending your wheels and your time and getting frustrated like, hey, I haven't closed a deal, or I closed a deal, and have that roller coaster effect. I did that for the first year, and then I was like, well, got to go back to work full time because I don't know when I'm going to get paid next, and I have to have a paycheck. So you guys need to make sure that you guys are figuring it out of how you are able to consistently bring in business. If I know that my month is getting ready to fill up on the closings, it's no longer onesies and twosies in the month. If I have 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever for that month, I'm going to push it out to the next month and push it out and keep my pipeline full so that I know that if one falls off or gets pushed out for whatever reason, I'm not stressing about, oh my gosh, I'm not getting a paycheck. What am I going to do? So it took a long time to build up that way. But at the same time, you guys need to know what's going to pay your bills that month, and then push out to the next month and push out. And just so that you guys get that, the cycle going, so that you know that you have money coming in. Because this is you never know what's going to happen in business. And you never know. Do not count that money before it hits that closing table, and not even just the closing table, but funded. Because anything can happen even after you close, like, oops, we just realized this, and they yank everything back real quick. So hasn't happened to me, thankfully, but I've heard about it happening, and you're like, wait a minute, how did it get all the way to this point? And oh, great. Okay, never mind. We're not closing today or whatever. We're not funding. So the biggest thing too is start promoting yourselves. You guys are your biggest cheerleaders, and you are able to control what is being put out there to a very small or very large public. And you're able to, if Facebook is notorious for it, the more that you post, the more that you're going to be rising up in everybody's stuff. So people may unfriend you, unfollow you, but you talk too much about real estate. It doesn't always have to be about real estate though. Promote your personal stuff and your wins and losses and stuff like that too. Your family, whatever, just don't put the drama out there. Leave the drama at home. So I can't say that enough. But at the end of the day, just people want to know what's going on in your lives. Everybody, it's embedded in us. We're nosy. And so we want to know what's happening, but you can take that and you can say, hey, how can I help you with this? Or, if somebody has cancer, one of my childhood friends, her husband is, battling cancer right now. So she was asking for donations, and I gave her one, and she was crying because it paid her mortgage for the month. And so, you never know when you're going to be able to help somebody, and you don't know when and if that it's ever going to come back, twofold for you. So, sound good?
On your social media pages, do you recommend your personal page? Like, 'cause I know with you, like you promote a lot on your personal page rather than your Schumacher group page. How do you like? I don't know if I would rather start a business page just for creating Facebook ads. Like, is that I don't know what that.
You can definitely do the business page for ads, but your primary interaction is going to be that personal, because you're going to have the people on your personal page. They're not necessarily going to like and follow your business page. And so I leave the business page for the business page. I have a real estate agent directory. I pay them. I don't even know what it is anymore. It's just on auto pay. They auto post a lot of my stuff. Half the time I don't even see it until somebody likes it. I don't go on my business page every day. I don't expect you guys to go on my business page every day. So I bring up my interactions in my my timeline, and the more that you're interacting with somebody, the more that they're going to show up in your timeline. So Facebook's algorithm is amazing, and you just have to learn how to work it and make it work for you. So if you're acting on somebody's business page, probably not going to work out so well. You're probably going to want to say, give me access to your personal page and let me go to town on that one. Kira, on the other hand, is not getting access to my personal page because I do that personal. I am so on it with my my social media that it's just a habit. It's part of my day. It's part of my daily routine. So she might go out there and post some stuff on my business page, or go out there and fill up some of my VIP groups and stuff like that. But at the same time, she's not going to have, where she's posting on my behalf. I don't care what my coaches say. It's just not happening. I'm not giving up that piece. So that's the other thing. Hire a coach, because they're going to be able to help you. And you're like, oh my God, I can't pay this. Well, if it's $1,000 a month, you can pay it, because how much are they going to help you grow your business? So there's some coaches out there, just like everybody, they teach you, but then at the same time, you're like, oh, what am I gaining from this? It has to be a win-win situation.
So on your personal page, do you, a lot of the stuff, is it on the houses that you're selling, or that you're advertising your listings, or do you just talk about your personal life, or is it a combination of everything, or what do you put?
It's a combination of everything. So when it comes to listings, I put them on my personal page, and then I go to all of the local groups, all the swap and shops and everything like that, to advertise that listing. So go and add all of those groups to your guys' stuff too. So it's our job to sell that house. It's our job to market the house. If you didn't know that you had a marketing background, well, you do now. So you got to figure that part out, right? When it comes to make sure you follow your rules on advertising, because you have to, if it's a listing, or if it's pretty much a listing, if you're looking to promote anything business-wise, you have to put the brokerage information, and you have to put your personal cell phone on there. So it's your cell phone, your name, your brokerage, and their office number. That has to be on there. Not so much for Missouri, but it is for Kansas, right? So just do it. Otherwise, you don't want to get a big old fat fine on, your stuff. So, but I will, when I go to Michigan this weekend, I'm going to promote that, so everybody usually knows what's happening in my personal life. My husband hates it, but he's used to it now. Right. So I'm just like, he stays off from Facebook. I did see that he changed his picture after I don't even know how many years the other day, and everybody was liking, and I was like, hi, so he gets on there, he'll scroll through it and do what a lot of people do, just like, oh, this is cool. I think he has like 300 friends on there, and I'm like, what's it like to have 300 friends on there? And he probably knows all 300 of those people. So again, I don't know everyone on my social media, but at some point I will interact with them and try to get to know them. So it's a huge business for you if you work it correctly.
So when you're advertising your listing and you go to those groups, do you just put in that advertisement into those groups on those pages, or do you tag those groups?
Nope, you go in there. There's specifically one group, Homes for Rent or Sale in Kansas City. They will not allow you to take it from your business page and put it in there, because then they're in there. They're also trying to, gain referrals and leads out of there, offer them your stuff. So they'll kick your stuff out. But what I do is I take the link from the MLS or the link from, if it's not from there, I use listings to leads. And I'll take that link, because when you're putting that link out there and anybody that clicks on it, they have to enter their info. And so then it's going to come back to you as a lead, unless they exit out there and don't put their stuff in there. So you have to, some of those admins will approve the stuff going in there. They're probably more likely to approve it if it's directly from what you're posting. So whenever I post, I write out whatever I'm going to on my personal page. Before I hit enter, I copy everything, and then I just go to all of these groups and paste. And it's just what I do. So I'm getting ready to list a house tomorrow. And as soon as that goes active in the morning, I'm going to grab that link and put it out there. So it's our job, like I said, to get it sold. You can do that with open houses too. So if you're promoting an open house, again, make sure your advertising stuff is out there. Is that it?
Any final question?
was so wonderful.
Thank you.
You guys just have fun with this. I mean, it does get stressful. It surprises happen all the time. You're like, great. Never had this one happen before. Here's a first. Let me try to figure it out. Lean on your fellow agents and obviously Randy to get those answers, to be able to work through these problems. Don't go out there and vent. You'll see a lot of venting in these groups about like, what about this or what about this? And this happened and this happened. A lot of that stuff is state specific. So they shouldn't be out there asking hundreds of thousands of agents, like, how do we fix this? So it's one of those things that'll always baffle me, but whatever. But it does bring them to top of mind in either a good way or a bad way. It doesn't matter.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.